You want to change things, if you want to change conditions, then you are going to have to abide by and follow what? The law of transformation. That's why this series, the law of mind and how it works, is so important. Because we want to do everything by law or by the Lord. For God is thought, and the Lord is the law by which thought operates. Ask yourself this when you pray. Am I praying by the law? Am I praying according to the law? Whenever you want something, you must deal with the law of the Lord of that thing. If you want to change things, you must observe the law of change, which again is being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And there is no need to ask a God in the sky or a God anywhere else to change things if you refuse to change your thinking.
That was the late, great Reverend Ike in one of his sermons, Mind, Body, and Consciousness. Good day to all of the family today. How you feeling today? How y'all feeling today? Oh yeah, your brother is in full form today. Happy Madres Day to all of you out there, all of the beautiful mothers celebrating their born day today. Not their born day, but their the celebration, Mother's Day and beyond. Happy Mother's Day and beyond. And happy Mother's Day to all the potential mothers, all the women that chose not to be a mother, but they have birthed something else like businesses and careers. All the fathers who had to be mothers when the mother left or transitioned or whatever. You know, I have people like that in my family. You know, I have people like that in my family, part of me. And so it's important that we understand that sometimes motherhood is not just birthing a child, because not every woman that gave birth wanted to be a mother. Not every woman that gave birth deserves to be a mother. Not every woman that gave birth are mothers. Some women, which is real few in history, but some women abandoned their child. Some women turned it over to your grandmother. So also happy Mother's Day to all the grandmothers that had to take care of other people's children or their daughter's child or their son's child. You know, and I've seen that in life also, you know. So respect to all mothers, whether you gave birth or not, or whether you are still able to give birth and you choose not to. But if you're birthing something that's going to make you righteous and better, you are a mother also. You know, I sent out a text to a few of the people that I know about mother. And I called my mother the other day because I sent her a present already. And she said she was going to wear it to church today. So I didn't call her yet because I know she left to go to church early. But I said, Happy Mother's Day. And I said, Happy Mother's Day and beyond. Remember, mom is wow upside down. That's an old saying. I heard that years ago. Mom is wow upside down. And when you are a respectable mother, and happy Mother's Day to the planet Earth, because planet Earth is the mother of us all. And the universal divine feminine working with the divine masculine is also a mothering energy towards the divine masculine, as the divine masculine is a protective energy to the divine mother, which brings about the yin and the yang balance. They don't argue with yin. If you notice, yin and yang don't argue with each other. They don't collide. When you see the symbol, the yin and the yang, you don't see them collide. You see them complementing each other. And that's very important, that we recognize that we have to be complements to one another. Have to be complements to one another. So I played that clip of the late, great Reverend Ike, because he spoke about the transforming, the scriptural quote that I have on the back of the board. He spoke about this: be transformed by the renewing of your mind, from Romans 12:2. Now, this is not a preachy subject. This is more of a numerovational perspective, and why it is, when you say quotes like this, the numerovational perspective of saying be transformed. Some people add be you transform. Some people say be ye transformed. And when you add ye, the ye or yea, I didn't want to add that. I didn't want to write you, because be transformed by the renewing of your mind is already definitively pointing out to us, your mind. I don't have to say you or ye, your mind. We're trying to make sure that you understand the transformational process of your mind. So today, when you add up this fullness of this day, and I'm going to make this a call-in show, so don't call me right now. I just want to show you that's the number. So set it on your dial. Do not call me now. It's now the sound is off. But don't call me now. But that is going to be the call-in number for those who's going to call in and join the topic. Join with the topic. It's not really about your birthday. It's about the topic. How are you being transformed by renewing? What helped you to transform yourself? And what helped you to renew your mind? That is the subject that I'm going to be talking about. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So in order for you to get here to speak to me or see me or even listen to me, something transformed your mind, because some of you didn't know me at all. I've had clients that said they found me on Brother Richard's show. They found me on Sonetta's show. They found me on Billy Carson's show. They found me on the internet. They found me on Instagram. But something transformed your mind. Something transformed your mind to even want to look into something like this. Studying of numerovation or learning about numerology after you've been taught that it was demons that ruled it. But I tell people all the time, where there's angels, there's always a demon. Because the quote unquote demons that you claim that people are practicing are known as angels. They're called just fallen angels. So to every angel, there is a positive and there is a negative, in what we call positive and negative in this realm. There is a good and there's a bad. And even in some scriptures, the so-called negative angels have helped people in this realm, saved people's lives. But I'm not going down that road. That is not the premise of this. I'm trying to show my brothers and sisters out there, and do me a favor, please like, subscribe, and share this broadcast. Please like, subscribe, and share with at least 5 people. because transformation is not an easy transformation. I've gone through the silent tears of transformation, because sometimes you had to transform yourself from other people. You have to transform yourself from the mindset of your mother or your father, because they're still pushing this mind control set. And it's not that religion is bad, it's just what has happened over the years that has made it that we are not accountable for ourselves, but we, like Ian Levanzant said on the council culture with Nick Cannon, we're not accountable, so we become dependent on a Jesus and dependent on a Muhammad, or dependent on a Musha, Moses, or dependent on a Buddha, or dependent. Numbers is not about that. Like I said before, numbers don't care if you believe in them or not. They don't care. They work behind the scenes, just like your creator of the universe, or whatever you might call your creator. He works behind the scenes. It's just that mathematics or numerical understanding helps you to confirm that it is working, both positive and negative. It's objective. It has duality. It has angels. It has angels. It has demons. That's why when I tell people, when you see an angel number, if you're not living up to the positive angelic perspective of that number, then what are you doing? There's another route that you might be going, or you might be becoming complacent, comfortable where you're at. And I understand some people are comfortable where they're at. They want to live a mediocre life. But just being a mother and a father is a superhero. My mom is a superhero to me. To this day, a superhero. She's a superhero to me to this day. My father, no matter if he was in or out of my life, he is a superhero to me to this day. Now that we've reconciled our differences from our past, and he didn't really, I think he got to reconcile his differences with his father, who also was not there, just in and out. May my grandfather rest in peace on my father's side. He was born December 22nd, master number. And my grandmother, who he made it with, never got married to, was born June 22nd. So the 22s came together. And when the 22s came together, they made my father. That's the only child they made, other than the other relationships they had outside of that. My father was the last. So mother and father are superheroes, especially when you are accountable, loving, dedicated. And some of us fall short. More times it's the men that fall short of the glory of their godhood. I have fallen short. I don't make no qualms about it. I don't make no excuses about it. I know what I was going through, and I know what I chased in order to be the person that I am today, a much better person. So I hope that every mother out there, whether you had one, if you're still having menstrual cycles, you can still get pregnant. So you still have the potential to be a mother. So whether you're having children or never going to have child, happy Mother's Day to all those that went through that ring of fire. And big up to two advertisers on my show. But I was speaking to Dr. Shakira and Dr. Shakira Moore, Dr. Shakira Fatima Moore. I love that name, Fatima. And she asked me about conception. And I'm going to break that down, not now, but the difference between a child being induced to come in at a certain time other than the time they was prescribed. But you got to remember, when doctors make these predictions about your child is due here and due there. It varies because it can be done anytime. A child could, if the body can't hold it, if the uterus can't hold it anymore, that child will come out. Sometimes the doctors induce because the woman is so much in pain or it's not coming out fast enough, or they'll do C-sections. And yes, it does change the vibration of the child. And it also, according to my studies, changed the vibration of the mother also, especially if you're doing C-sections and have to create a hole for it to come out other than going through the natural vaginal process. There is a change of frequency. It's not the same. Although you might feel the similar pain of the cut and the child coming through that C-section, it is different than it coming through the vaginal natural way. And some women, sometimes it's too tight or it's too small, but it's really your body was made to contract and make it happen. I've been in the delivery room and seen it. And every time I saw it, I cried. Every time I saw it, there was tears that came to my eyes because I know that I came through that process, and everybody in this realm natural birth came through that process. And when there's certain emergencies that had to happen, maybe they did the C-section, maybe they did this and did that to induce the birth to make it come. But mom is such an important thing. That's why mom upside down is wow. And if I wrote it on the board and broke down the mathematics of it, you'll see it also. So happy Mother's Day to all of you sisters out there that has and have not children, and grandmothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. And I hope what I share today with you online, it will be helpful to your growth and development. What I share with you today, and please, again, if you are a given person, follow what's being said on the bottom. Like, subscribe, comment, and share with at least 5 or more people that are on a spiritual journey, not so much of a religious journey, but more of a spiritual journey, that they're cutting through the muck and the mire of dogmatic religion. Not asking you to leave any religion, but what I do from my perspective as the Numerovator, or using numerovation, is motivating you with the closest numbers that you are connected to, which is your birthday, and the words which we call the name. Your name has a resonant energy connected to numbers. That is my mission, or one of my missions. And before I move on, I want to share 2 books with you that you can, and I will put the links of the books in the chat right now. 2 books. One is an older book by Dr. or Baba Ishaka Musa Barashango, and that's called African Woman, the Original Guardian Angel. It's on Amazon. I'm going to share that link right now in the chat. It's on Amazon. Very good book to have in your arsenal so women and men can be reminded of who you are on a higher level and why the world worshiped y'all. Why, especially European world, even the name ISIS and Europa and Paris is named after the African woman, or the original woman, or the indigenous woman of the world. This book here, African Woman, the Original Guardian Angel, by Dr. or Baba Reverend Ishaka Musa Barashango. Very good book to have. It's an old book. It was written back in 1989, the first print. And I bought this at, you can buy it at Nicholas, but in Brooklyn, or you could order it through African World Books with Nati and the whole family in Baltimore. He has, and also you can buy it wholesale and sell it yourself also. And you can also order it through, if you're in Georgia, you can go to the Shrine of the Black Madonna. And I believe, what you call it in Lithonia has it. What's that cultural center again? Black Dot Cultural Center has it also. Good book to have. Good book to have. Second good book that I just received from a dear friend of mine who happens to be incarcerated for the next. We're hopeful that he'll come out, but he's in this book here. Just got it. It's called "The Black Woman Is God" by Natural Tahuti. Those who don't know who Natural Tahuti, look him up, brother Natural Tahuti. You've been on the debate scene from back in the day. His book finally came out. Thick ass book. Thick ass book. And let me put his link to his new book in the chat right now. Y'all got to get this book. So far, so good. Although he wants to do another editing. And remember, he did this from prison. He's locked down for like over 30 years. He's going on, his sentence is in 30 years, but we're still fighting the good fight. The brother's still fighting the good fight because it was something that happened in prison. But this is Natural Tahuti's. I'm gonna put his link on the chat too. Go and support Natural Tahuti. Y'all know him when he was on Sinetta TV back in the day. He used to be part of 5%. That's where he started his knowledge and wisdom. Go and support Natural Tahuti. His new book is called "The Black Woman Is God." He got a lot of great footnotes and everything on it. So just to remind you of who you are, sisters, and it will remind us of who we are as men also, in respect to our sisters. "The Black Woman Is God" by Natural Tahuti. Very good friend of mine. He's an Aquarian. And he quoted me in the back of his book. If you see the bottom there, it says King Simon, numerologics consultant. And he got this. He asked me to write something for his book. He asked me to write a blurb, and he put the whole entire blurb in the back of the book. And let me read it to you. It says, "I am very honored to be able to write the commentary for a fellow Aquarian. I have been telling him to write a book for some years now, and finally, he has accomplished the goal. My brother and friend Nathan Howard, known to many as Natural Tahuti, has a natural ability to speak and teach. As a numerological consultant, I use the mathematics of one's birthday to help guide my clients into the knowledge of self. The author of this book is born on January 30th, which tells me as a consult that he is a natural orator, writer, very expressive, visionary, and has the gift of gab. Brother Natural Tahuti has been defending the honor of the Black woman for some years now. So the name of this book, called "The Black Woman Is God," is quite appropriate. His love for his own mother has guided him to study this subject on multiple levels without waiver. The recognition he has given to the Black mother is unshakable and sometimes rarely found amongst the original man today. Various theologies have led many to believe Adam came before Eve. However, science keeps on referring to the mitochondrial DNA of the great Black woman of antiquity. The indoctrination throughout the years to religious dogma has kept hidden the feminine fact of nature and the cosmic Black woman as the embodiment of math on earth. In this dissertation, Natural Tahuti will help all of us into returning to the African mother principle of female/male equality as he continues to resurrect the divine feminine Thank you, Brother Natural Tahuti, for writing this book and adding your part to her story and not letting the enemy of the great Black mother lead us astray. By King Simon, numerologics consultant, website kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. In the back of Natural Tahuti's book, he honored his brother King Simon to write such. So I believe if he took it off of Amazon, well, I know Barashango's books would be out there. I just got this book, but if not, you got to go through other means. Go to your local bookstore and get it. But I know Natural Tahuti said he might take it off of Amazon so he could make sure the editing is totally cut. Because so far I've seen a few things, but I know this is his first book, so I know it is. But I know if he took it off, he took it off. But please, if you can, go to the links and see. And if you can't get the book now, please follow him on Amazon. Follow him on Amazon. And when he does re-release the book, then I think he made it. Yeah, it was limited. It was a limited edition. So I guess it was out of print. It's out of print now, but follow him on Amazon. Follow Natural Tahuti on Amazon until he gets it fully edited over again, because he has to edit it again. So I see that it's out of print also, but I just ordered it. It just came. So I guess after the conversation I had with his wife or his fiance, I guess that's when they decided, because he's supposed to call me sometimes this week from prison, and we're going to talk about what he wants to do to remix the book itself. So although I just sent y'all this is the link to the book, at least go and get the link to Barashango's book. At least go and get that book itself, Barashango's book, if you can. It's all right. So Natural Tahuti's book he took it off the market real quick, and he's going to do some fine tuning of it. And I understand, but I'm glad they sent me the email, and I said, all right, before he did that, I think after I talked to his wife, I told him what he needed to do with the picture, because the picture is kind of blurry, and it's, and I told him all that. So I guess they took it off immediately so they can fix it up and make sure everything is tight. So, he his wife was telling me he respects my opinion so much, and I understand that. But again, happy Mother's Day to all you great mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to all you great mothers out there and all you potential mothers out there. So it is now 29 minutes in, and I'm going to get into the the lesson that I come to talk about. And here it is. Boom. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. There's a spiritual meaning behind this, and I did Google that up, and it comes from the Bible quote on Romans 12. And the Bible quote in the New Transliteration of the Bible, this is the quote. It says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is. His or her good, pleasing, and perfect will." I say his or her because in some cultures, people believe God is a her, and in some cultures, people believe God is a he. Some of us believe in the duality of God, not just being called a woman called goddess, but God is man and woman. That's why the word man is mind. And mind is not just man. Mind is not just woman. Whoa, man. Mind is a universal energy thing that holds our thoughts in, and all of us have a mind. Some people need to mind our business sometimes, but it is what it is. And some people gotta Be mindful of our business and mind our business so we can excel to be at the top. But the quote is Romans 12:2. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And this is not a biblical breakdown. I'm not doing any biblical things about this. It's not me trying to get into teaching. The spiritual meaning of be transformed by the renewing of your mind is about embracing a new way of thinking that aligns with God's or the universal teaching, leading to a transformation in how we live and perceive the world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Remember, although God is in the sentence, remember, ye are gods having a human experience. But y'all, we all have to be in the purity or the pure intention of what a God requires us to be. And if we are saying that we are gods, both man and woman, then what does the purity of the God thought wants us to be? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. In order for you to be transformed, what is it that you have to do, or what do you have to allow in your life to transform you from negative to positive, from an unproductive person to a productive person? What is it that you have to do? Of course, you have to intake information. And that is the premise of what I'm doing here, is trying to help you to intake information. So when I go to the spiritual meaning of transformation, it says transformation and renewal. The phrase suggests a transformation, a change that comes from renewing of one's mind. This renewal is about reshaping how we think to align more closely with God's perfect will. The energy of us is the God energy. And the energy of us that's God's perfect will is within all of us if we are willing to tap into that God's perfect energy, since we are God's having a human experience. It involves rejecting sinful patterns of thinking and adopting righteous thoughts that honor Christ. This is what they're saying. Now, the word sin comes from a Greek word that starts with an H, and I'm not going to go into that. I know I have it somewhere in my files. Matter of fact, let me see if I have it right here in my phone. Because during the day I'll be studying and doing all kinds of things, and I'll be snapshotting this and looking through that. And I'm just one of those people that love to study, love to research, love to study. And sometimes I Google, or sometimes I look at books. I look at different things to remind me, that takes me to where I need to go. But I know it's a Greek word. The word sin comes from a Greek word that means missing the point, or missing the when you're shooting. It's really pertaining to archery. And if you don't hit the mark, missing the mark. It comes from a Greek word that means missing the mark. So when people say rejecting sinful patterns, because the root word of sinful is missing the mark, come from a Greek word that means you're missing the mark in something, missing the mark in your thinking, and learning how to righteously align your thoughts with the universe, or the universal God thought of who we are naturally. Then the second point, it says non-conformity to the world. The verse advises not to conform to the world, referring to the popular worldview that rejects the creator or the universal connection to revelation and what is revealed from our inner self and who we are and what we are naturally connected to this universe. And then it goes on to say, and this is it says, as believers, we are no longer conformed to this world, because we no longer belong to the spirit of this age. And I'm using this meaning from Romans 12:2, because there is wisdom in the Bible. You don't have to, just because you're finding some type of spiritual system, you're going into some new nuances of of knowledge. Don't mean you have to throw away the Bible. Learn how to tap into the wisdom of it and use it to benefit you. Because there is wisdom in what is being said. And it goes, like I said, it says, as a believer, we are no longer conformed to this world because we no longer belong to the spirit of this age. Then it goes on to say the mind of Christ, renewing. You remember the word Christ only means anointed. That's all it means. It means somebody who is anointed. What are you anointing your mind with if you're going to have the mind of Christ? Because renewing your mind means interpreting life through the lens of God's words. And I'm not particularly saying the Bible. It could be the Tao. It could be the Quran. It could be studying nature and watching God's word manifest through a rose, through a tulip, through a leaf, through a bug. And the inspiration of that Holy Spirit that resides in every living thing, rather than through the lens of your experience, woundedness, trauma, preference, or the opinions of others. There's a certain purity that we have when we're in nature. And like Dr. Barashango said at one lecture, he said, when he wants to talk to God or relate to God in any way, he goes to nature. He don't go into the Bible. He don't go into the Quran. He goes to nature. Because if you go into a park where there's nature growing, that's where you're going to hear or feel or experience the essence of your creator. There's no better connection. It doesn't have to be a book that a man wrote or a woman wrote. Go to nature and be wise, like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said. Study nature and be wise. Because sometimes when you go into nature, it takes away all of the trauma. If you go away, get out of your house and go into your forest, go into Stone Mountain, go into Prospect Park, go into the depths of Central Park, go into any park that has natural, because some of these places have been built around natural parks. Yellowstone Park and all these different, they've been built around natural habitats. So go in there and just feel and listen to not only the God in you, but the God outside of you, which is nature. You'll hear plants and bugs and this and that. You'll hear trees talking to you spiritually. And it's making a daily moment by moment choice to choose the mind of that anointed Christ energy, which lives inside of all of us. That's what it's saying in the mind of Christ. Then it goes on to say living sacrifices of God to God. Talks about Paul. The exhortation that Paul presents is that since we have been a recipient of God's great mercies, we are to be living sacrifice to God. We are living sacrifice to God by not conforming to this world, but by being transformed by the renewal of our mind. How do you do that? How do you be a living sacrifice for the God energy within you? One of the ways to develop that is to meditate, to make sure that you're not pouring in or allowing people to pour in negative things from media, movies, and or music. But if you are going to take on that balance of getting that negative, then you got to offset it with balance. I've said this many times before on my show. You got to offset it so you can continually renew your mind, even if you're putting in the ratchet stuff. Because there's, some of us still enjoy the ratchet stuff, and I'm never going to tell y'all to not enjoy it. But if you're going to listen to 1 hour of it, then make sure you listen to 2 hours of positive, productive stuff so it can offset. Because according to their study at MIT years ago, over 20 years, it says it takes 16 positive to knock out 1 negative. This is according to their study. It might be more now, but it takes 16 positive to knock out 1 negative. So if it takes 16 positive to knock out 1 negative, then you need to really bombard, because Why does it take 16 positives to knock out? Because most of us learn through our traumas. Most of us learn through our traumas. Then the last but not least, it says discerning God's will. As your mind is being renewed, you'll be able to recognize thoughts that don't agree with the energetic God words within yourself. This transformation allows us to discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. And like I said, God is universe. God is Allah. God is Yeshua. God is Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever you want to call that creative force within you, working the all within all, working in with you. You got to be clear. You got to have clear discernment. You have to have clear discernment and understand what this means for you and what you need and how you need to do this. And if it's not positive in your sight, let it go. If it's not positive in your sight, let it go. If it's not positive in your sight, let it go. People, places, and things. If I'm making sense to you that are listening, put the number 1 in the chat. If I'm making a little sense. If I'm making sense, put the number 1 in the chat. I'm not here to preach. I'm not a preacher. Don't call me no preacher. I'm not a preacher. I have a ministry called Ministry of Numerovation on Facebook. On Facebook, it's a private group, but I'm not a preacher. I'm not even a minister, but I can administer information through what I've learned and what I continue to learn through the study of numerology and what I call numerovation. So be transformed by the renewing of your mind is about embracing a new way of thinking that aligns with the God or the universal teachings, leading to transformation in how we live and perceive the world. Because the world is not bad, but the mentality of the families that rule this world and their agendas is imposing bad things on us through media, music, movies, and other ways. So there's nothing wrong with transforming your mind, brothers and sisters. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with doing that. Nothing wrong with working on it. And nothing wrong with encouraging your children to do it. Mothers, fathers, you remember the movie, The Crow with Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son? And when he was helping her to extract the drugs out of her system, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he said the word mother is God around the world to all the children. I know that's not the right saying, but that's what he was basically saying. The word mom or the word mother is God. So man and woman are gods to their children. And your children will become a God to their children. And your children become a God to their children. Because ye are God's children of the Most High God. But ye shall die like men. That is in your book. It's in your Bible. But it's not for you to be arrogant because you think you're the creator of the universe. No, there is a creative force that people call it whatever. But if you understand the God energy in you in connection to the God energy of the universe, and that everyone have it, then you will be respectful to everyone that you meet, whether they're homeless, whether they're rich, whether they're middle class, whether they're blue collar, white collar, whether they don't even have a shirt on, like Dr. Khaled used to say. You respect the energy. All colors, all creeds, especially if they're presenting the universal teachings that helps us to transform. So I can listen to Bruce Lipton. I can listen to Jack Ma. I can listen to Ian Van Zandt. I can listen to Jane Elliott and extract what I need to make myself a better person, which I would suggest everybody does. Use what you need. I don't have to join anything anymore. Organizations is important for those who need organization. We are already a natural organized entity. The body is organized. Everything in our body does what it does for the purpose of the body. So 46 minutes in, saying what I all had to say. Remember, the topic is be transformed by the renewing of your mind, a numerovational perspective. So we're going to go to the numerology of it. And what I did is make sure I gave the equation of all of the numbers that came up to the same. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And we're going to focus a little bit on transform, renewing, and the word mind, because those are the very important words that have certain frequencies that we can use. But the whole word itself in the Pythagorean system adds up to 192. 192 adds up to 12, which is a 3. So be transformed by the renewing of your mind adds up to a 12, which is a 3, which is a number of expansion and growth. So when you are being transformed by the renewing of your mind, you're supposed to expand in this wisdom, expand in your knowledge, expand in the greater part of you, because you be transformed by the renewing of your mind, connecting it to the divinity of who you are and what you are. That's why I don't call what I do divination. Take the two words, divine nation. Because all of us connected to the energetic force of the Creator are divine in our own way. We're just an expression called Simon, an expression called Iyanla Vanzant, an expression of that divinity called Benita Sutton, an expression called Professor Zahalia, an expression called Dr. Shakira Moore, an expression called Minister Farrakhan, whose birthday was yesterday, an expression called George Carlin, whose birthday is today. We're just an expression of this divinity. So when you be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and it adds up to a number 12, which is a 3, you're supposed to express and expand yourself. So in my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, when I talk about that number 3, I say the 3 is the symbol of expansion, the expansive trinity of father, mother, and child. So you need to bring the balance of all of it in order to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, because of the number 12, which adds up to the 3. And I'm starting backwards for a reason. Because 3 is the number of expansion. It's the number of communication. It's the number of writing, speaking. That's why when you start to become transformed by the renewing of your mind, you start to write, you start to journal, you start to sing new songs, write new books, write new things, write new storylines in your life, so it doesn't have to be the same traumatic ways that you've been going through. So in my book, I talk about the number 3 being an intimate, friendly, in business, creative, magnetic force that should be mindful of attracting recklessness and scandal. So be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You can renew your mind to do negative things as well as positive things. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So think about it. All the hardcore criminals that may be in prison to this day, when they were babies, they wasn't negative. They was living in the pureness of who they are as children. But when they got transformed into the renewing of their mind, it renewed into something negative, and then they started doing negative things, and now they're in prison. So this statement can go both ways, because the number 3 has duality. All of these numbers have a duality. Everything has its angel and its demon. It's positive and it's negative. Remember, in tarot, the number 3 is known as the Empress card. So in the most positive, productive mindset, you're supposed to be at a higher level of who you are. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, to all the women that are potential mothers and that can be mothers, and enjoy the mother. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That 3 card, that according to tarot, is learning the importance of being a ruler of communication. So when you be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and it adds up to that 3, which is related to the tarot card, the Empress, then you are supposed to be the ruler of communication, after you've transformed your mind and renewed your mind in the essence of the creative force. I'm talking about this number 3. In another form, the number 12 is also known as the Hangman card. It represents the lessons that the human must hang upside down from their feet until the accomplishments of their great works of renewal within is completed. So you got to renew yourself with that number 12 now, because you can hang yourself upside down by not being positive and productive after you've been presented the information. So information is supposed to transform you. What inspires you is supposed to transform you. So be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Again, the mind is important because the mind adds up to a number 22, which is a mental number of inspiration, master builder, master architect. So if you're willing to architecturally build your mind by the renewing of your mind through the wisdom of communication, which is the 12 and the 3, then you can take yourself and whatever you do to a higher level, whether you do it in a mediocre way or whether you do it in an international way. That is totally up to you. The number 12 in my book, I call it the symbol of universal manifestation, fruition, and complete expression according to certain esoteric studies. Universal manifestation, this is what the word adds up to. The number 12, I'm going backwards. I did 3, I'm doing 12. I'm going to go to 192 because that is an angel or angle number. And I want to touch on the angel or the angle numbers. In the Chaldean system, it adds up to 146, which is 11, which is the spiritual equilibrium that this saying brings to one when they use it in its most appropriate matter, but it still has a duality because 11 has a number, is the side, the negative side is deception or deceiving others. That's why I say even by using this, you could also do something negative, because most of us that have transformed or people that have gone down the criminal element was not always a criminal from the beginning, but something must have transformed them into that and renewed their mind to go to make a Bumpy Johnson, to make a Dutch Schultz, to make a Lucky Luciano, to produce an Al Capone. There had to be some type of transformation, whether it was external or internal, whether their mother and father and them was into all of that first, and then they all, due to situations on the outside, you had to make money and you went down the criminal road. There it is. Even Biggie used to sing it in his song about he had to go and feed his, his baby girl, and why he had to do what he had to do on them streets. It's real. But Notorious B.I.G. wasn't always negative. And then when he found his gift of being able to speak and express himself, he transformed into one of the greatest artists or rap artists in our time. And transitioned at a younger age due to gun violence. Tupac the same. Come on, man, the man was doing ballet when he was younger, acting school when he was younger. Tupac. Although he was born under situations and conditions with the prison his mother was in while she was pregnant, he was in prison and all that kind of stuff. Things mold us to either transform by the renewing of our mind for the positive or the negative. Some things outside of us and inside of us and in our bloodline and through our family transforms us to be positive or negative. It's up to us which road we're going to take. Because as we get older, we know the difference between what is good and what is bad. We know this. We do know this. All of us know it. So 192 in angel number book, and I want to bring out synchronicity book too. And I think I want to introduce to y'all another book, The Magic of Angel Numbers by Layla Moon. Let's start with Layla Moon because it adds up to a 12, and let's see what she says about that combination actually. Let's see if that combination adds up to a 3. That's 33. No, that's not on there. Let me, she has a good book, good information, but and I haven't really read through it. I just got this last week, this book here. But let me see. Boom. She says the number 3. Let's go to what it, because it's not. She don't have 192 in this. Although she's talking about angel numbers, she don't have all of the angel numbers. She kind of break it down and narrow it down in her book, which is good. You know, I'm glad that she can narrow it down to what she calls or what she deems good. But what she says about the number 3 is that it encompasses the destiny of those who always hunger for knowledge, symbolized by Jupiter, and destiny of 3 is encompassed in the mind and the intelligence, the intellect, with these individuals seeking to protect their self-esteem and erosion. Hold on one second. Greetings, Dr. B.
Yes, my brother King. What's going on?
Well, you know, I'm broadcasting live right now. Can I call you back? I'm speaking about the numerovational breakdown of be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So I'm breaking down all the numbers connected to those words.
Why are you on me with live talking to me?
Because I just want to let people know Dr. B called me. Dr. B is on the line, family. Say hi to the people. They can hear you, brother.
What's happening, people? What's happening, people? Are you allowing those numbers to flow? Don't try to jam up your numbers. Keep the numbers you got. Use them to the maximum. Because King Simon is the master of numbers, the master of digits, and the master of knowledge.
Baba.
Let's go.
Baba. I'm going to call you back after, okay?
All
right, beloved. I did that session for Zen. It was good, brother. I'll talk to you after, okay? All right. Peace and love. Peace. All right. That was Dr. B. Dr. B passing through, family. Dr. B was passing through. He just called me out of the blue. So I just say, you know, let me answer Dr. B. You know, I'm going to answer my brother. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's very important that, you know, and, you know, he's been my inspiration also. That's when you get information from people like Dr. B. Helps you to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. People like Dr. B helps us. And we got to bear witness to those helps and those things that people like him is sharing with us. And if we are listening to what him and various other people are saying, it can be very helpful, my brothers and sisters. I'm telling you. It transformed me. Things that Phil Valentine and Jewel Pookrum have done, it has transformed me over my life. So in the angel number book of angel number 101, what I said, because the words, the letters, the numbers that connected to be transformed by the renewing of your mind adds up to 192. In her book, she talks about 192, and number 192 says this. She says, trust that you are ready for your divine life purpose. Woo-hoo, I can't make this up. Trust that you are ready for your divine life purpose and that it is much needed in this world. You are ready and qualified to fulfill this mission. 192 in her book says that. What? 192 in this angel number, because when you start seeing these angel numbers over and over again, that's when it really it's a matter of what you need to do. But because it added up to this three-digit number, and I don't have the 3-digit number in my book, I went to the angel number book, and she said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind in the Pythagorean system as up to 192. And 192 says in her book, trust that you are ready for your divine life purpose and that it is much needed in this world. You are ready and qualified to fulfill this mission. So if your mind is transformed, if your mind is renewed, if your mind is ready for this transformation and this renewing, then guess what? It adds up to 192, just that saying alone. And it says, trust that you are ready for your divine life purpose and that it is much needed in this world. You are needed in this world, family. Your ideals are needed in this world. Your books are needed in this world. Your products are needed in your dancing, your singing, your doctor, your lawyer, your plumbing, all of that, anything that you're doing that you love to do is needed in this world, and that has some type of significant guidance for other people is needed in this world. That's what she says in the 192 says, trust that you are ready for your divine life purpose, and that it is much needed in this world. You are ready and qualified to fulfill this mission. Stop doubting yourself. Stop being indecisive about who and what you are. Stop doing it. Especially if you know this is positive and productive. And that's why people like the old saying is saying, and what I wrote it right here, the world needs your unique gifts. Don't leave with them still inside of you. That's an old saying I found in Yogi Tea, and I pasted it right on my darn speaker over here. All of us have unique gifts. Everybody say, Ashe, Ashe, to your unique gifts. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Put Ashe in there, man. Put Ashe, because all of us are ready. We're here for a reason. We're here for a reason. Les Brown said that years ago. We are here for a reason in this dispensation of time. We are created for this time. And then when I go to the Synchronicity book of 192, Synchronicity book is written by Anne-Marie Uber. I'm not afraid to share. I showed you this. I just got this book, Angel Numbers book by Layla Moon. Now, I showed you Doreen Virtue. I'm just showing you how to read and connect these books and numerology. I showed you my book, of course, Numerovation for Mental Stability. I'm just showing you how to read these books. Don't just read it for yourself and your numbers. Read it for the words that we use, the sayings that we use, and turn them into sigils of guidance through the numbers. Not just drawing and creating sigils and drawing. I'm talking about the sigils of numbers. These are sigils, especially when you start to interpret it from a synchronicity book or from an angel numbers book. So what she says about 192 in her book, and this is synchronicity, because you may have turned on this computer at this time, because Dr. B called me out of nowhere at this time. That's synchronicity. Now you got to hear his voice just briefly. You call in and now you see me breaking down numbers, and this is a synchronicity act right now because we are synchronizing with each other's vibration, because 192, the whole saying, be transformed by the renewing of your mind as up to a number 192. And in her book, she talks about the 192 synchronicity book. She says, hold on, let me find it. Boom. There it is. It says, think it through. In her book, Synchronicity, Anne-Marie Ubers, it says, think it through. This number says, even though situations can be frustrating, take time to think before action or speech. In general, this number says that you should be able to acquire that which you need or want. Contemplation brings good results. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind adds up to the contemplation number. Think it through. Contemplation brings good results. Then she gives you a mantra behind it. It says, I act from the center place of wisdom. It says, I act from a center place of wisdom. All is revealed. I understand why she put it down as that, because when you deal with the negative or trying to transform, and let's say, think about this. Be transformed by the be transformed by the renewing of your mind. In synchronicity numerology, she says, think it through. Think it through. Whatever you're going to do after you've been transformed and your mind starts to renew, you're going to think through, because in your transformation and the renewing of your mind, you're going to have to release and let go of some people. And I know she says it gets, even though the situation can be frustration. You might have to let go of a job that's been negative on your mind. You might have to let go of certain people in your school, certain friends, certain family members. You might gotta let go and expand, because remember, it adds up to a 12, which is a 3, and 3 is the number of expansion. Because you're expanding, not everybody is going to expand with you. Not everybody is going to grow with you. That is the absolute truth. Not everyone is going to grow with you. Some people are going to be left behind. That's why you got to think it through. This number says, even though situations can be frustration, take time to think before action or speech, even before you write a thing, before you say a thing. Because number 3 that it adds up to, and interesting enough, she had 192. 1 and 9 in certain system of numerology are the numbers that says what they mean and mean what they say. So they have to be able to think with empathy. You got to think about the person and what you're going to say to them that might affect them, because words do hurt people. So I understand what she says, that she said you got to think it through. I understand. Take time to think before acting or speaking it. The 1 and 9, that's what she said. Now you got to do it with love, because the number 2 represents love. So she goes on to say, in general, this number says that you should be able to acquire that which you need or want, but contemplation brings good results. You have to think and go within the love energy of who you are. And remember that people can be hurt by your words. You got to let the words of your mouth and the meditation of your heart be acceptable by the almighty essence of within, that will not obstruct other people. I had to learn that. I'm still learning it, because I'm constantly learning, constantly studying. I'm always a student master, not a master student. So the word transform adds up to a number 7. So it deals with the internalness and the internal research and the introspection we have to have in order for us to transform. We have to really dig deep to get to where we got. And then renewal in numerology adds up to, in Pythagorean, I'm talking about Pythagorean, adds up to a number 50. The word 50, the number 50 is a number, and because this is Numerovational Perspective, I want to go to somebody that broke down the number 50. This is Tanya Gabrielle, her book, Numerology Handbook. The number 50 is the number of movement. It's the number of joy. It's the number of freedom. The word renewing is something about you freeing yourself, because you're renewing, you're freeing yourself of the old stuff, because you're renewing all the old negative things that held you back. And the number 50 that the word in the Pythagorean system it adds up is the number of freedom and joy. It's a quest for freedom and a quest for joy. Movement, achievement, a quest of adventure, because you're stepping into new ground, renewing. You're not doing the same thing that you did before. You're renewing your mind to open up to something new, so it can be a grander experience for you in this realm. Then it goes on to say that the number 50 is magnetic, persuasive power. It's a number of great imagination. So when you're renewing your mind, you're renewing yourself to open up to great imagination that we already have, that we let go of. Some of us ran away from our imagination, but we need to run back to our imagination. Renewing, the word renewing, adds up to 50. In the Pythagorean, the word transform adds up to 52. 5 and 2 equals 7. 7 is that law of attraction number. So when you're transforming, whether you transform for the good or the bad, you're going to attract what you're transforming into. That part. Think about that. In the Chaldean system, the words be transformed by the renewing of your mind adds up to 146. 1 plus 4 plus 6 equals 11. Y'all always hear about us teaching about that master number 11. It is a master number of equilibrium. It's a master number of, like I say in my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability. It's a master number. It is the symbol of new beginnings and the ability to be a master of wisdom and efficiency acquired during the past cycles of your life, according to specific studies. The master number that this saying adds up to in the Chaldean, which is the elder of the system, the number 11 is the number of a doorway. It's a doorway of spiritual and physical worlds. It opens you up. And that's why it allows you to be the runway, because it looks like a runway of the two realms. So when you decide to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, it's opening you up to two realms, the physical and the spiritual. It's how you use them that counts, because in the negative, the number 11 can be a number of deception. The number 11 can be a number of oversensitivity. The master of deception, treachery on its negative, but on its positive, it deals with keen insight, visionary ideals for the future, creative visionary movements. The number 11, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, is a number 11, not coincidence. Not a coincidence. And 1 plus 1 equals 2, so it brings compassion. In my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, I talk about the number 2 being the symbol, the duality symbol of companionship of the mother and father and parental principles. Angels and demons, masculine and feminine, true and false, day and night, the duality. That's why I tell you, even the word, although this is a biblical saying, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, from Romans 12:2, even the word Romans add up to a master number 22, which is interesting. It still can go either negative or positive depending on the individual. And because 11 adds up to a number 2, remember the number 2 is the number of intuition, loving, helpful, sharing, giving. But when you be transformed by the renewing of your mind, adds up to that 146, but adds up to 11, which is a 2. The negative, it says, be careful of energy vampires. Be careful of over indecisiveness. Be careful of energy drainers. Stay away, especially when you are being transformed by the renewing of your mind, because you're going into a new direction. You no longer, if it's positive, you're going into a positive direction. You no longer want to do the foolishness. When I was going into positive, I didn't want to drink anymore. I didn't want to drink Old English 800 no more. I didn't want to smoke marijuana no more, ganja or sensimilla with my friends. I didn't want to have parties and just have hooky parties anymore. I started transforming and renewing my mind, because the mind adds up to 22, which is a builder's numbers in the Pythagorean, adds up to a number 14, which is a number of adaptability, flexibility, and creativity. The mind adds up to those numbers. It's not a coincidence. No coinky dink here. So when I go into the angel number book for 146, let's see what she says from her perspective, because this is the numerovational perspective. Always remember that. King Simon presents the numerovational perspective. So I'm allowed to quote other books. I'm not afraid to share information. And because I don't want you to think I'm the only one that got this knowledge. I do numerovation from my perspective. Lloyd does astronumerology from his perspective. Akib Alal 44 does his mathematics from his perspective. A. Rashid does his from his perspective. All of the perspectives are right. It's just there's levels. Okay, what she says on 146. 146. Your positive affirmations are ensuring that all your physical needs are met. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind adds up in the Chaldean system, adds up to 146. And she says, your positive affirmations are ensuring that all your physical needs are met. The angels or ancestors urge you to continue your prayer, visualization, and other manifestation processes. Because it adds up to number 11, I understand and understand why she said that. Because 11 is the visionary manifestation numbers for good or bad. Because it can go down the negative of deception or the negative of receiving something that is good and positive for you if you're doing it in the right manner of being transformed by the renewing of your mind. Let's see what she says in her book, Synchronicity of the Numbers 146. Because remember, these are angel numbers that can have different angles to them. Duality, because every quote unquote demon is a fallen angel. Every quote unquote arisen angel that might be amongst Michael and Jibrael, those are the higher vibratory angels. Even Lucifer was an angel, but he decided to use his energy for the negative instead of the positive. There's duality. Last but not least, I'm going to finish it off with this. (146) in her book, Synchronicity. Anne-Marie Uber. Synchronicity. Many of us take the Uber out there right now. Again, once again, happy Mother's Day to all you great mothers out there. Remember, the word mom is wow, upside down. Hey, mom. Hey, wow. How you doing? Hey, mom, what's the dinner? Okay, last but not least, she says, 146 says, stake your claim. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind in the Chaldean system. And I have to preface this, the Black Chaldean system, melanated people. Let's get it straight. You can get this book if you need to. The original people are melanated. They may not have called it the word black. Black is more of a European name as over years, but they were melanated people. So in the Chaldean system, the melanated Chaldean system, which used cuneiform back in those days, and other languages that they picked up over the mixing and all that. 146 as says in her book, stake your claim. This is a number of good fortune and feeling secure. You are the decider of your fate. Your fate. You can reject your luck or accept it. Your choice. This is what she says. That's all she says in this book. She says 146, which adds up to an 11, which is a 2. Stake your claim. This is a number of good fortune and feeling secure. You are the decider of your fate, F-A-T-E. You can reject your luck or accept it, especially if you're seeing it over and over again, especially if you're seeing it now because this is in sync with what you're doing because you chose to watch this and your spirit says, let me check out what King Simon is saying, what he's doing right now. Some of y'all are saying it. Some of y'all came in, some of y'all left, some of y'all didn't even get to watch this part yet. Y'all didn't even get to, some people had to leave before this part. It's all right. 146 means exactly what she says from her perspective. This is a number of good fortune and feeling secure. You are the decider of your fate. You can reject your luck and accept it. Your choice. And then she gives a mantra or an affirmation at the back of every one, at the end of everything. She says her mantra or her affirmation is, I am thankful for all I have. God holds nothing back from me. I accept his mercy and love. So when, from the Chaldean perspective, be transformed by the renewal of your mind adds up to 146. Be thankful. Say, I am thankful for my life. I have. God, universe holds nothing back from me. I accept his or her mercy and love. Say that to yourself, because 146 represents the master number 11, which is the equilibrium between the physical and the spiritual realm. And the number 2 comes with the compassion that you have to have. And in the Pythagorean system, it adds up to 192, which adds up to the 12, which is a number of sacrifice and victimization on the negative, but on the positive is a number of creativity and compassion that adds up to the expressive and expansive and jovial number of the number 3. The word transform in the Chaldean system adds up to 45. So those are 2 communication numbers, but it's a communication that you have to complete what you start. If you're going to be transformed, if you allow transformation to come to you, then you must complete the job. Communicate clearly and complete it and see yourself at a higher level. Now, when you're transformed by the renewal of your mind, now you are a visionary of what you're supposed to do, because now you're writing things down with the 3. Now you're expressing the things from the spiritual and the physical realm from the 11, and you're willing to transform and renew. This adds up to a number 32, which is one of the magical numbers in numerology and compound numerology, which is the magical number of expression and compassion again, which deals with the expansion of the number 5. Expand, renew, be versatile, adaptable, renew. My family, I hope on this great Mother's Day that added up to a full universal number of 7, when you add it all the way across, 5 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2024, it breaks down to that number 7. I hope that you will share this live, and I hope that what I shared, because after I erase this, I forget all of this. After I erase this off the board, it is gone from my memory, to tell you the truth. That's how deep. Every time I do this type of stuff, because there's so many words and letters and all that, I didn't even get into the vowels of this word, this saying from Romans 12:2. And so funny that it's Romans 12:2, and the word transform, the word renew, just the 12 and the 2 adds up to number 5 also. Adds up to number 5. The word Romans adds up to a number 22, master number. And when you add the 22 plus that, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, it adds up to the number, it adds up to 27 when you had when you add the 22 from Romans to the number 5, which is 27, and 27 is the number of a scepter. And scepter is that staff that's been passed down from generation to generation, and it is the number of intuitive creativity and productivity. Romans 12:2, I'm talking about. I'm just showing you that, numbers don't lie. It helps to allow you to apply it so you can be your best at the vibration and the interpretation of the numbers. That's what's important for me. That's why I call myself the Numerovator, who is the founder of Numerovation. So I hope this served an emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental purpose for all of you out there. ESPM, baby. ESPM, emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental purpose for all of you. I hope you enjoyed what I shared. Beautiful ladies, potential mothers, those who plan on being mothers, those fathers that plan on helping women to become mothers, those fathers that maybe they lost their wife and maybe they're widowers right now and they had to take care of their children since they were young. My grandfather had to do it. My grandmother, she was a great woman, but she wasn't ready for children at that young age. And every time she had 3 children, 3 daughters. And every time she had a child, she just gave it to my grandfather. And him and his sisters raised my mother and her sisters. So, like I said, I've heard the experience before of men raising children, but he needed help. And luckily he had like 3 to 4 sisters that helped him. Were they stern? Were they hardcore? Yes, they was. They were hardcore women, hardcore men. I understand. That's why my mother and my aunt and all of them turned out the way they turned out to be. Hardcore people. But I love them. I love them all. And I hope you forgive your family and forgive your mother and father and whoever, whatever happened in the past. Let it go and grow. Believe me, let it go. And I want to thank two new sponsors in my show. Two new sponsors. Want to big up these two new sponsors, of course. Dr. Shakira Moore, Master Iridologist. Make sure you go to her Linktree. I took her phone numbers off because sometimes you got weirdos out there that just want to call to talk to these women and, and not do the service. Don't. Anytime I share a number with somebody, family, don't call them and be weird. Don't become a weirdo because you see how beautiful this person is and you try to, don't do that. She told me that somebody called and if you're watching me and you're a weirdo, get off of my line. I'll block weirdos. I ain't got no time for weird. God is weird, but God is not a weirdo. God is weird, like Minister Juice said on Brother Richard's show, but God is not a weirdo. Because when you add that O to the back of weirdo, it comes with that number 6 and it comes with that number 7 in the Chaldean system, 6 in the Pythagorean system, and 7 is the number of secrecy. Secret things they be doing and behind the scenes and all that. Weird and weirdo is two different vibrations. So enough respect to Dr. Shakira Moore, a mother herself, big up to her beautiful daughter, and enough respect to another new sponsor, Dr. Karima King, Temple of Regeneration. She offers holistic consultation in conjunction with therapeutic spa services such as energetic healing, body work, stretch therapy, and body treatments. You can contact her via the website right there, Temple of Regeneration square.site. Check her out. Good people's man. And you could also, I didn't give you a phone number, although there is a 1-800 number that's not working right now, but the email is working, karima@templeofregeneration.com. Make sure you go get your alignment with these two sisters. The master iridologist is able to tap into your eyes and reflect and bring out that you needed from your family and the things, the cycles that you have to break through the eyes, because the eyes is the window to the soul and to your health. If you do want to book a numerovational session with me, text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. And you know what? For the next 15 minutes, I'm going to open the phone lines right now. I said I was going to open the phone lines. Let me turn on the sound to my phone. I'm going to open the phone lines real quick for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Those who want to call in and tell me how you've been transformed through whatever you've been learning, whatever you've been through, how you've been transformed or how you are willing to transform. Call me now at 718-210-8853. I ain't got nothing to do right now, not at this time. That's 718-210-8853. Give me a call right now and let's talk about, are you being transformed? Have you been transformed? How are you being transformed by the renewing of your mind? What helped you to renew your mind? Call me right now. The number's on the screen, 718 or 1718-210-8853. That's 718-210-8853. For the next half an hour, I will be up here if you want to call in and talk to me personally right now. And I do suggest, although I might ask you for your birthday, I don't want to go into a full breakdown of your birthday. If you do want to book a session with me, there it is. That's the number to text me for, because my sessions are real intimate and they're recorded and it's sent to you after. But if you want to call me now, mothers can call me. What has transformed you? Because even when a woman gives birth, there's a transformation happening between you and the child that's coming out of you. So we can talk about that. So this number right here under me, call me right now at 718-210-8853. That's 718-210-8853. That's 718-210-8853. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, with those people. People are calling me now. Make sure you turn down your apparatus and talk to me through the phone, all right? Greetings. Turn down anything that you're listening to me and talk to me through the phone. Who am I speaking to, and who are you?
Hello, my name is Ace.
How you doing, Ace? How's everything, sir?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. The topic is, how have you been transformed by what you've done by renewing your mind, my brother? What's happening?
First off, I want to say it's an honor to even have this opportunity to speak to you. I think it's amazing that this is even happening right now. Thank you. Thank you for allowing this opportunity right now.
No problem, brother. How you been? Everything all right?
I'm good. Everything's good. Going to work right now.
Okay, good. So what has transformed you over the years, brother?
So honestly, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I'm gonna say I did learn about I guess like an alternative way of how life was created and how it started, and involving the soul.
Good.
And I also, that led me into learning more about, I guess, numbers with and the significance of 369.
Right.
And I felt like just that whole different way of thinking alone transformed me.
That's right.
And I've been having it makes me see things for what it really is.
Good.
And I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like when other people don't see it,
right.
It's kind of like depressing.
Right. And that's why I always implore that whatever message is coming to you is actually for you. Sometimes it's not for the person. It's not for other people. It's for you.
Yes.
It's your journey. So if you're seeing it, don't be depressed. You just have to connect with like-minded people that understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because it might not, your family might not understand. You know how many of my family don't even understand what I'm doing, but I still love and respect them because this is my walk. It's not their walk.
Yes, sir, 100%. And that's a great example, because I have family members that they choose to not want to know because they feel like, if they do know, then that's going to take them into another way of thinking, and they're not even they're willingly cool with not knowing or not wanting to know. And
exactly.
I don't know. I think that's a little crazy, but
no, that it can sound crazy, but you got to remember, at one time you didn't know either. It's just that you were open to allow it to take you over and to transform you by the renewing of your mind. It's your mind that had to be renewed. You know what I'm saying? So that's all you have to respect. That's all. Just respect it. And you just when it comes to family, you have to show and prove, because they want to see if it works for you.
Yes, sir.
That's what I learned, over the years. I had to show and prove. My brother, thank you for calling, man. Thank you, brother. Get to your job safe.
Thank you for listening.
You're welcome, my brother. Thank you, my brother.
All right, have a good one.
You too, my brother. That's a brother Ace. He just called in. Enough respect to him. And somebody else wants to call in. Remember, if somebody's on the line, I'm not going to just jump to the next line. So you can call me right now. Let's go to the phone lines. Remember, turn down your television or turn down your apparatus and talk to me through the phone. Greetings. Welcome to the Numerovational Perspective with King Simon. Who am I speaking with? Where are you calling from?
You are speaking with Trinicia, and I am calling from Oakland, California.
Oakland, California. What's up, my girl? How's everything, Trinicia? That's a nice name.
So I was just going about my morning, and when the topic of the title, shall I say, of your video, came across by the renewing of your mind, it just reminded me of my dad, and I wanted to share something that he left with me before he, went to the other side.
Please.
And it says, if you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it's almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you've lost. For out of the world, we find success begins with a person's will. It's all in a state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You got to be sure of yourself before you can even win a prize. Life battles don't always go to the stronger or the faster man. But sooner or later, the person who wins is the person who thinks I can. Always remember your father.
Wow.
So when I saw that came across,
come in and talk to your brother about that. Call me right now at 718-210-8853. Someone from Georgia just called me too. If you're calling me again, call me back. It's all right. You can call me back. That's good. You can call me back if you want. 718-210-8853 is the number to call me at right now. 718. It's Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. If you are a mother that I just called, me, shout out to you. To Brother Ace, your mother, maybe shout out to your moms if she's still here on this planet. Shout out to everybody that called me so far. Give me a call right now if you want to talk about how have you transformed over the years. What has transformed you? What has renewed your mind? We already broke down what they all add up to from a numerical perspective. Come on now. Y'all can do it. Come on now, y'all can do it. Just be willing to talk. It's not, you don't have to come on the live stream. You're going to talk to me on the phone. That's 718-210-8853. You know, my first form of transformation, from my perspective, that I recognized was definitely through the music business. Listening to reggae music and dance hall, well, original reggae music from like Bob Marley and all that, those lyrics transformed me to even want to go down a conscious road. Burning Spear, Culture, Dennis Brown. Those are things, and you know, that Marcia Griffiths, who's celebrating 60 years this year. Matter of fact, they're having a whole celebration in Florida, tribute to Marcia Griffith this weekend, right now. Marcia Griffith is a beautiful soul. I have pictures with her too. Beautiful energy. You know, I think she's born November 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. I know she's born on the 23rd of the month. But it is so profound that even music can help you to transform and to renew who you are and do what you got to do to take yourself to the next level in life. And it's all right. It's all right. Some people say they're unable to hear me. Can you hear me now? Some people said they were unable to hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Uh-oh. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? There's no sound. Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now? 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 That means something wrong with this camera. I'm going to take that camera off. Can you hear me now? Put the number 1 in the chat. Let me remove that. Stop that camera. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Put the number 1 in the chat if you can hear me now. I think it's the other camera that I try to put up there. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, good. It's the other camera. That means that camera is having some problems. So I won't transfer it. I got to check out the sound on that camera. Okay, so we're going to say, those who want to call me and tell me how they've been transformed by the renewing of their mind, whatever way it transformed you, call me now at 718. Happy Mother's Day. Even mothers can call in. How did giving birth transform you? Because when you give birth, and when mothers and fathers get a child in their life, that's a transformation and a renewing of your mind, because you're transformed in order to be able to deal with that child. And you're renewing your thought patterns because you have to learn how to deal with this child. And that's why Dr. Phil Valentine said that children come through to teach you how to be a parent. Children comes through to teach you how to be a parent. And we got Baba Phil Valentine coming on the 19th with Dr. Nalani. I'm waiting for the picture that he's supposed to send me for that. But if you want to call me right now, call me now and tell me how you've been. I'm talking to mothers. If you want to call me now, tell me how you've been transformed and how your mind has been renewed by even having a child. What did it take? What was the situation that you was in? Brothers, when you found out that your woman was about to have a child, what situation, what transformed your mind? What renewed your thought patterns? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's not just a scriptural quote, but it's by situations and environments, inward situations, external situations, inward environments. Give me a call now at 718-210-8853. That's 718-210-8853 if you want to talk to your brother King Simon before I get off of here. I've been on for 1 hour and 45 minutes. So hopefully you could rewind this and check it out. We taught on this subject here, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, from Romans 12:2. Going once, going twice. I am going to, if you're not calling in, I'm going to ask the question. If you don't mind, I'm going to ask the question for these tickets, a pair of tickets for 2 events. I want to ask the question. I don't know if y'all are ready. I brought Dick Gregory to New York for an event. And the question is, what street did I have Dick Gregory on? Where the event venue was. I should ask when the name of it, but we won't do that. I brought Dick Gregory to New York in 2012, May 2012, around Malcolm X's birthday. It was either May 2012 or May 2013, but it was definitely in May. What street did I have Dick Gregory on? And it's a major street in Brooklyn. Now I'm giving y'all hints. It was a major street in Brooklyn. If you give me the answer, y'all call in and give me the answer. Those that was in Brooklyn at that time will probably, but you're going to have to, this is for tickets for this in Atlanta. This is going to be in Atlanta. This is tickets for these 2 days in Atlanta. I ain't going to give you nothing simple. It's not going to be something it's something you could Google up, but you got to really look to Google up where I had that Dick Gregory event in May of either 2012 or 2013. Because I know I had Paul Mooney either 2012 or 2013, but I had Dick Gregory also. So one of them was on either 2012 or 2013. So if you want a pair of tickets to see the tribute to Dick Gregory and a tribute, the salute to our ancient ancestors, call me now with the answer at 718-210-8853. That's 718-210-8853. I know certain people that know it because they was there. And if you know it, they were there. And if you can make it out to this tribute to Dick Gregory in October, come on out. Just make sure you get to the hotels around that Stone Mountain area. There's a nice hotel around, a lot of nice hotels around Stone Mountain area, because that's going to be in Stone Mountain Village. There's a few Airbnbs around there too. I might compile a list for those that are coming into town, but I'm giving away tickets. All you have to do is call me. That's 718-210-8853. I'm giving away tickets to see Baba Ashwa Kwesi and Mira Kwesi in Atlanta, in Georgia, in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and also the tribute to Dick Gregory with special guests passing through like Dr. B. Sirius, Brother Rich, Mama Tassili Ma'at, and also a comedy show. We're lining up a comedy show with his nephew, Mark Gregory. I want people to laugh again. Let's have fun. Let's laugh with Mark Gregory. All right. I guess nobody can figure that out. Yeah, I ain't gonna give y'all the darn tickets. I'm gonna ask the question. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much stuff on there. There's so much stuff on Dick Gregory. And even if you look up the pictures and all that kind of stuff, you might find images of Dick Gregory in Brooklyn, because Dick Gregory has been in Brooklyn numerous times. Dick Gregory has been in Brooklyn numerous times. But I know my flyer is up there somewhere, but you're going to have to comb through it to find it. That's for sure. Or you can go to my YouTube page and you'll find where he was too. And you know who opened up for Dick Gregory? Queen Afua. She opened up for Dick Gregory that particular day. See, I'm giving you even more hints, you know. She opened up for Dick Gregory that day also. So big up to Queen Afua, who is actually receiving the presidential awards this coming May 17th at the Rotunda of the capital of Georgia. I guess I think Biden is going to be in town anyway. And we're going down there to show some love for the great Queen Afua. We're going to show some love for the great Queen Afua, who will be receiving the presidential awards for health and wellness. So enough respect to Queen Afua. And that's going to happen right here in Georgia. And hopefully, let me see. People are texting me. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Good. All right, I guess nobody can answer that question. It's all right, and nobody else want to call in. But thank everybody that did call in so far, that was able to talk about be transformed by the renewal of their mind. Thank you very much to people from Oakland, sister from Oakland, and everybody else, and the brother that was driving to work. Thank you for calling in. I just want to remind everybody. Let me remind y'all, please vote for me, Brother Rich, Dr. B. Dr. B was on earlier, but he came on through the phone. I threw him on. That's my brother. 954-245-0086, 954-245-0086. Vote for all of us. And do remember, this coming Wednesday, we're going to have myself and Carrie Ann Ingram will have this beautiful sister, Anaya. Anaya. Leah. She's going to be on with us, and she's going to be speaking about the Women's for Peace movement, Women for Peace, because we do need our sisters to join that peace movement. And of course, on the 18th, the regular seats are already sold out. You might have to get the VIP seats, which includes a lot of stuff. The VIP seats includes a lot. So you want to be in the VIP section, VIP seating. The regular seats have been sold out for this. And he's doing a lecture. And he's also going to be answering questions, but the VIP will be getting their questions answered first. Okay? That's on the 18th of May. Dr. Philip Valentine will be on with me. Dr. Angela will be also on. And Sunday, May the 19th is going to happen on my show, King Simon Presents, on YouTube. And remember, the 22nd, we have Tassili Ma'at coming in live and direct. And she's going to be talking about food is culture and culture is food, the movement of going raw for our health. And then after that, the next Wednesday, we're going to have, in June, this is going to, but I do have Dr. Sunyata Amen coming in on June the 12th. And this sister is coming in after that. Now, Ruby Vision will be in town after that. That's, of course, the tribute to Dr. Dick Gregory, the tribute to Dr. Dick Gregory. I think he has an honorary doctorate degree. And also the salute to our ancient ancestors with Baba Ashra Kwesi. All right, so getting ready to close out. Make sure you support my son and brother Jeff with the Green Studio, NYC.com. Support Carrie Ann Ingram, do a session with her with the tarot spread, and give her a call or text her to that number. Also, you can get her healing jewelry also via her website. That's carrieanningram.com, carrieanningram.com. Do remember, hit up Lloyd Strayhorn at lloyd-strayhorn.com. That's lloyd-strayhorn.com. And Dr. Shakira F. Moore, Master Iridologist, hit her up at Linktree/Holistica Healer. Holistica Healer, hit her up. And also hit up Dr. Karima King at Temple of Rejuvenation at templeofrejuvenation.square.site, or email her at karima@templeofrejuvenation.com. And remember, you can text me to book a session with me. You can text me at 347-496-1022. I do have a short waiting list, but it's all good. You get all of my books. Well, this is the course. You can actually take a 2-hour course on Udemy right now. Go to udemy.com. Let me put that in the chat just in case you want to go to udemy.com and take the course. Let me put that in the chat. Udemy, udemy.com/course. It's a 2-hour course. It's not my 8-hour course. I just want to let y'all know that the 8-hour course is different, son. 8-hour course is different. Holistic. I'm gonna put it up there. It's on the bottom of the screen, but I want to put it in the chat, so you might want to go there now, because I think they have a little donation going on over there, a reduced price of it too. Numerovation. You put it in the chat. Boom, there it is. It's in the chat. You can actually go to it right now. It's in the chat. Boom. Udemy.com/course/holistic-numerovation. And you can also get my books through Amazon. Some is on Kindle. And you can go through my Linktree also, okay? Just want to remind everybody to do that. The audiobook is coming out soon. The children's book is coming out soon. Just have to add some more pages to it. Remember, logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Albert Einstein. And the only real valuable thing is intuition. Albert Einstein again. Dr. B. Sirius, who called in earlier. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life. And what Dr. Blair said, please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for being a part of my journey, for allowing me to be a part of your journey. And remember, stay numerovationally sound, be numerovationally guided. Use your number as a form of guidance. And again, if you want to book a session with me, text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. Take care, be strong, be safe. And once again, mothers, happy Mother's Day to you. Take care. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
King Simon, I love him. He's family, and he has one of the top shows on the Forbidden Knowledge TV network, actually. Right. So make sure you guys check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, this show is called. It was really based on numerovation. It's a numerology show, and it's called How to Calculate Your Destiny. Yes. By King Simon. He's the host of the show. The show has done so well. We're now getting ready to start working on filming season 2. All right, so King Simon, one of the top shows on Forbidden Knowledge TV, streaming TV platform.
Numerovation with King Simon. Text me now at 347-496-1022. You can also take my course if you want to, but do text me for your sessions at 347-496-1022. You can also get my books on Amazon at Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. Remember, you can book your session and get it done right now. 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. King Simon the Numerovator. Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and the powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, numerovation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%. Poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the class